Alright. I am the Shermanator.
Hey everybody! Do you remember this TV trailer from last year, the Savant from Apple, with the stupid-faced Jessica Chastain married to a black dude with mixed-race children? No? Well, guess what? It hasn't even been released yet because they've put it on hold after the sad passing away of Charlie Kirk. But guess what? Rolling Stone magazine, which used to be the bastion for reporting on music and other such musical-minded genres in the industry, well, guess what? It's obviously pivoted its attention these days to what's going on online, streaming, video games, the like, because they got to stay relevant. But the good news is that Rolling Stone still want to see the Savant getting its release on Apple and / Amazon Prime. What about you? Do you want to see this? I know I do, for reasons I'm going to get into today's video. So if you end up liking what you see, give it a like, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to comment down below. She is the Savage, the Savant. Only on ITV Plus, streaming on December the 20th. Yeah, forget that. Nobody knew, nobody cared.
Yes, hallelujah. It's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Never surrender!
Rolling Stone desperately wants Jessica Chastain's The Savant to be released. And why is this? Why do we ask ourselves this question, folks? What is the reason? So apparently, if you're an Apple TV subscriber, which I am not, if you go on their landing page, it actually says coming soon. And if you walk over to Amazon Prime's, it says a similar thing as well, because I guess there's some sort of an agreement between Amazon and Apple TV about how they're going to release this 10-part series, the only series that should ever exist. And the reason why I do want to see this show actually getting aired, because A, the acting will be awful and atrocious, and that's just the Oscar winner herself, Miss Jessica Chastain. And also, I'm going to get into what earlier reviewers who had 4 episodes to look at before they assumed it was getting released last year, what they had to say about those impressions of the opening 4 episodes. And funny enough, Jessica Chastain is not even mentioned in any of them, which I find absolutely foddly-waddly, hiddly-piddly. So from concept to delay, the Savant was announced in early 2023, inspired by a Cosmopolitan story. Cosmopolitan, the magazine for chicks. Published in 2019, and it's a very interesting read, folks, and I'm actually going to take you to the article in a few moments. Now, as we carry on down there, we know this stuff already. Yeah, so this is Pablo Schreiber, who played your really awful version of Spartan 117 in the failed Paramount Halo TV series. He's one of the bad guys here. And if you walk on over to IMDb, what else do you notice about the cast list? Well, there's a few diverse people in there, but the majority of them are white. And I'm guessing these are family members of the bad racist white guys in the series, because how else are you going to paint that picture, right, folks? So that made me laugh and made me twaddle all over the place. But have a look at this article here, because when I read through it, I felt a little bit sick to the core. Again, I'm not the kind of guy that sticks up for every single bad guy who happens to be white with red hair and an incel of society. You're probably thinking, dude, that's pretty specific. Why are you on the nose in that remark? Well, I'll tell you why.
A sophisticated sex robot sent back through time to change the future for one lucky lady.
I am Lucky Lady.
That's right, Nadia. You've been targeted for Shermanation.
Michael Finton, living in Decatur, Illinois, a shrinking manufacturing town, working as a part-time cook at a cheap takeout joint. 29, unmarried, because that's a crime, right, folks? red hair? Oh no, and white skin. I mean, just call the dude Caucasian, or maybe skin with freckles. Described as being very polite by his co-workers, but unbeknownst to them, the mild-mannered guy turned next-door neighbor turned sociopath. That's right, he had a penchant for doing bad things. He liked to hang out and hang in from all accounts, play cards and watch soccer. He also wanted to delete as many people as he could, but no one knew that yet except for her, the Savant. Not Jodie Goodwin's character as played by Ms. Jessica Chastain. This is the Savant, an elite investigator who tracks angry men online. Can you imagine being a male component on an online forum for FHM or Loaded or GQ where you say spurious things about women, and this Savant tracks you down and started to do a profile on you online? Can you imagine what would happen to you if it turned out to be false? So this is 2007 when MySpace was the big place to see your face. And she was disturbed by Michael Finton's profile on that website. What she saw, the videos, the deranged videos you saw back in the early noughts, folks, and the mid-noughts. Yeah, I won't get into that. I won't even name websites that actually uploaded those videos because there was no control over the internet back in the day. It was a free-for-all. Back then, online rage was still relatively new. What, you haven't played the Call of Duty games in the forums?
Don't you guys fucking learn how to actually play the fucking game and talk? Shoot a gun, dog. Learn how to fucking shoot a gun. You fucking riot shield. What else am I gonna talk? Oh, riot shield. I'm a pussy that you.
This was before Dylan Roof used the internet to self-radicalize, before men flocked to message boards to tap out screeds against chicks, before the El Paso shooter reportedly dropped his delusional final manifesto on social media, back when you could post all the crazy batshit stuff you wanted and no one really took you seriously, which again, I'm going to say that's actually very, very true. But this article paints a picture of the Savant as this female warrior out to get bad men online, the men who are incels, who hate society, who hate you, who hate me, probably.
Then what are you gonna do with little old me?
Drop you? What else? You'll be a mess on the midway.
When you have people like Rolling Stone who advocate for this show to get a release, of course they do, because Rolling Stone is a lefty-leaning magazine, isn't it? It supports people like Jessica Chastain, who embraces dog shit like this. Now, here's the funny thing, right? So I want to talk about what the early reviews stated from both conservative and mainstream outlets, who suggested, and I'm going to quote here, that the villains on the Savant were cartoonishly bad guys and uniformly white.
That's no worse than honky.
You're right. Nothing's worse than honky except being married to one.
How general audiences would respond to the show remains unknown. So does its overall quality? Or I can probably tell you already, even though it's made for Apple TV with their money, I think it's going to be a pile of shit. But having said that, the icing on the cake for me, if it ever gets a release, and I think it will, probably around maybe July or August, you know, the quiet months when it goes unnoticed, I might do some episodic reviews just to see how bad it actually is, because of course nothing paints the worst picture possible that all white men are bad men. And if you don't know the optics already, folks, about really in terms of crime statistics who really are the bad guys, I would say it's probably less white men and more of the other sorts that you wouldn't want as your next door neighbor. But on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you were me and if I were you, I will catch you catching me, and definitely not catching Pablo Schreiber in another terrible performance on the next video. Good news is that Rolling Stone still want to see the